men wanted that power, they left the feminine. And the only way that a man can mistreat a woman is if he's disconnected from his heart. Because when you're connected to your heart, how are you gonna mistreat anybody? So when we have all of these discussions and debates about it's men's problem, it's women's problem, you're just adding to the problem. What we all have to do is really heal.
All right, guys, fellow podcaster here today, a show that I've watched for years now. Danny, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
What you been up to lately?
Family life and the mission, helping a lot of people deal with some of their limiting beliefs and their hidden wounds. So,
Yeah, that's a big thing these days. I didn't realize how many limiting beliefs I had until I started going down this mental health journey.
Really? What caused you to go down the mental health journey?
Just being an entrepreneur, I think I always want to be better. And I found out traumas and limiting beliefs were holding me back because I was stuck at a 7-figure level for years and I could never break it. And then I realized I needed to work on myself to break it.
That's exactly it. What most people don't realize is like, if you take it to an energetic and a spiritual level, money is literally just energy. It's just a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And it's just an external resonance to like the vibration that is going on inside of you.
Wow.
So you feel that like the money just comes, but it's the same thing with all of life. Your partner, your relationship life is a mirror to what's going on inside of you. And then, closer to you, even your body, if you're dealing with any health issues, it's your body that's trying to show you that there's something going on inside that you haven't really like looked into just yet. Yeah.
There's a lot of that these days, health issues.
Yeah, it's because a lot of us are living in fear. Unfortunately, a lot of us are living in the frequency of fear. And, it brings up, I saw a clip of yours.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was, but a guy was mentioning how like Black women are like the most overweight.
That was Myron Gaines.
Yeah. And I'd like to address that. And, maybe, we can look at that and go, yeah, the data shows that is correct. And the thing you have to ask yourself is like, why are Black women that way? It's because of the pain. Most of them are overweight, as are any human being. When a human being is overweight, it's their body showing that on an energetic level, they have unresolved trauma and unresolved emotions that they experienced when they were little boys and little girls. So if we want to think of our beautiful Black sisters, think about that. Like statistically, most didn't have dads around, or most saw, a lot of crime, a lot of hatred, a lot of anger. And so when a little girl or a little boy comes into this world and they're just love and they see that, it instantly causes their body to like freak out, quite frankly. And then the body holds on to that energy for all their life until you start the healing process.
Wow. I love the way you think, because no one took time to ask that question.
That's
when
right.
They saw that viral clip, they were just like, yeah, this is the data, and they left it at that.
Yeah. And it's like we, and that's because most of us live surface,
Right.
1 + 2 = 3. But if you look underneath it, we've helped people deal with sexual trauma. We've helped people deal with and heal from their fathers and dads, like beating them, molestation. I mean, it gets really, really deep. And so when you want to take a look at what's happening with society, you have to take a look at what happened as children. And that's where you'll find the answer.
That's how you act, right? It's all from your childhood. That's the way your brain thinks.
Everything in your life is correlated to the relationship that you had with your mother and your father. That relationship and the amount of pure love, unconditional love that you received is what dictates your relationship with yourself, your relationship with God, your relationship with life. And all of that shows up in your relationship with money, your relationship with other human beings, and the money you get or don't get, the partners that you have or don't have, and the health that you have or you don't have. Like literally all of life is a mirror for the relationship that you had with mom and dad.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And learning that recently for me has been a game changer, because I thought once I moved out, I was in full control over my actions, but I still needed to do a lot of work.
It's crazy because like I went out and I built a successful real estate business. I had 400 agents. We were doing, bunch.
The Tri-Light from Therasage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light. Deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the Tri-Light from Therasage and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared from 580 to 980 nanometers. Optimal penetration, enhanced energy, skin rejuvenation, pain relief, better performance, quicker recovery, and so much more. Therasage has been leading the game for over 25 years and this panel is FDA listed and USB powered. Ultra soft and flexible and ultra portable. On-body red light therapy I use daily and I take it everywhere I travel. This is the Thera O3 ozone module from Therasage. It's a portable ozone and negative ion therapy in one. It boosts oxygen, clears and sanitizes the air, and even helps your mood. It's a total game changer at home or on the go. This little device is the Thera O3 ozone module by Therasage, and it's one of my favorite wellness tools. In the sauna, it boosts ozone absorption through your skin up to 10 times, oxygenating your blood and supporting deep detox. Outside the sauna, it purifies the air, killing germs, bacteria, viruses, and mold, and it improves mood and sleep with negative ion therapy. It's compact, rechargeable, and perfect for travel, planes, offices, hotel rooms, you name it. It's like carrying clean energy wherever you go. This is a Thera H2 Go from Therasage, the only bottle with molecular hydrogen structured water and red light in one. It hydrates, energizes, and detoxes water upgraded. The Thera H2 Go from Therasage isn't just a water bottle, it's next level hydration. It infuses your water with molecular hydrogen, one of the most powerful antioxidants out there. That means less oxidative stress, more energy, and faster recovery. But here's what makes it stand out. It's the only bottle that also structures your water and adds red light to supercharge it. It's sleek, portable, and honestly, I don't go anywhere without it.
Of sales, we would sell basically 250 houses a month. It was pretty good.
Wow.
And in all of that, I thought, man, I reached the pinnacle. I'm successful. I've got like the wife, the kids, the house, all of these things. And yet, the question I never asked myself that most human beings don't ask themselves is, what caused you to go build it? What was the energy underneath the action, right? And when I looked deep, what I realized is that everything I had done in my life was because I needed acceptance. I needed validation. I needed to be seen because I wasn't seen by my mother and father.
Wow.
And so most of us don't realize that a lot of what we're doing and a lot of what society calls success is actually a wounded little boy or little girl that is trying to find love in success.
Wow. That just messed me up, man.
Well,
that's so true though, because all the most successful people I know had some abandonment issues or some neglect growing up.
100% of the successful people in society that we look up to, that we think have it all figured out, because of the sole fact that they have money, are 100% wounded little boys or little girls.
Wow.
Think about the woman that wants to become the boss babe. Why does she even want to become the boss babe? I'll tell you why. Because somewhere in her childhood, her father wasn't able to protect her. Her father wasn't able to be that safe space holder for her. So then guess what she has to do? She says, unconsciously, by the way, I know I, from this day forward, am going to be that protector for myself.
Yeah.
And this is where you have a lot of issues in relationships, by the way, right? Because it was either that or she saw the mother, and the mother was never happy because of the way the father treated her. So then she says, I will never be in my feminine. I will never, right? Well, then what happens? What happens is if you are the masculine in your life, how are you going to attract a masculine? Because all of life is polarity. All of life is yin and yang. All of life is up and down, the night and the day, like the sun and the moon, the beginning, the end, your birth and your death, right?
Yeah.
So the only way to attract is from opposite, right? And that's where you can actually experience real love, which most humans are not experiencing right now because we're all living in the wounds of our mind.
Yeah. I've been studying attraction more, and it seems like it's more subconscious than people realize.
It is. We were talking about Misha Tate. I was actually giving her this example of like a grocery store. So like, what grocery store do you shop at?
Whole Foods.
Okay, Whole Foods. Well, there's a reason why you shop at Whole Foods. You shop at Whole Foods because something
Brought to you by Amnesia Vodka, crafted to leave an impression.
inside of you loves yourself enough, cares for yourself enough to where you want the best in life. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then give me like a shit grocery store.
Albertsons,
right? I would never step in Albertsons. Probably you neither.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, hey, wait a minute, Danny. That's not fair. That's where I shop at. Okay, well, let's take it further. What happens is, which further proves the conversation of money is just energy, right? When you are limited in the value that you place over yourself and your life, the energy of that is that there is something inside of you that is blocking you from all that you are worthy of. As a matter of fact, you literally might not think that you are worthy of having it all. Therefore, that energy attracts the perfect grocery store with the perfect food, the perfect partner, the perfect career. All of it literally is drawn in by that energy. And so most people say, Danny, how do I change my life? Well, this is where it takes courage. Because what if the universe is just waiting and has been waiting all along for you to say, enough is enough. I will no longer accept shit, right?
Yeah.
When the best is available. Well, then there comes the fear. Yeah. And this is where the human being has to go, okay, well, what am I going to do with this, right? Well, what if I were to commit from this day forward that I will only shop at the best grocery stores, eat the best food? Yeah. What happens is when you make that commitment, the universe literally aligns everything to honor that commitment and the money shows up.
Wow.
If you do that with food, what do you think is going to happen in relationships?
You'll attract better relationships.
What do you think? Right. Because you have shown the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, I am so committed to giving myself the best that I will only accept the best. So the best is the only thing that can possibly show up.
You know, that's so interesting because you see these toxic relationships, but you got to take some accountability for that, right?
Well, it's not that you got to take accountability for it. You are literally the creator of it. When you are in a toxic relationship, you are literally the creator of the toxic relationship. The relationship and the partner that you chose is simply an energetic max for the unhealed energy that lives inside of you. Maybe you were shown that you're not valuable. Maybe you were shown that you're not important. Maybe you were shown that you are not lovable by your mother and father. That energy stays within you until you heal it. And then guess what you do? You go out and find the toxic partner to match that vibration, which, by the way, the toxic partner isn't toxic. The toxic partner is also someone that as a little boy or little girl felt the pain and unhealed energy. So you literally just call in each other, right? And this is where, like, if, you know, for folks that really want to find love, I would say like what I did. I went 6 months. I didn't have sex with anybody. I didn't look at TV. I literally didn't eat non-organic food. I didn't masturbate. I didn't do anything. One by one, I did what's called cord cutting with any human being that I had ever had sex with.
Wow.
Because when you sleep with someone, that energy stays inside of you.
Damn.
Yeah. So all their fear, all their doubts, all their drama, all their worries, it's living inside of you.
Even a one-night stand?
Anything. Because think about it. It's how life gets created. Therefore, it's how energy gets created as well, right? And so I cord cut everybody I had ever slept with, right? I went all into healing my heart and soul. I went all into healing any fear that was living inside of me, even the fear of death, by the way. I went all into realizing that love and everything I had been looking for in my life is not in power. It's not in success. It's not even in finding the one. It's in understanding that the one is me. I'm the one that I've been looking for, right? And when I did that, guess what happened? My dream, boom, it just showed up just like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
You know, to take it even a step further, 2 years prior to the day we met, I was in a ceremony. I help people, you know, heal their stuff, sometimes through my events, sometimes through plant medicine. And so I was in a ceremony, and in that ceremony, it showed me you are going to meet the woman of your dreams, and you are going to have a little girl.
Wow.
And that little girl will be the culmination of the healing of your heart, your mother's heart, and your grandmother's heart. The healing
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.
of the feminine lineage in all of my ancestry, right? And I was like, I'm gonna have a little girl. I remember walking around, people thought, this fucking guy's crazy, right? Sure enough, 2 years later is when we met. And 6 months after that, she got pregnant. I said, you don't even have to check. It's a girl. She's like, no, stop. I go, just trust me, it's a girl. Sure enough, it's a girl.
Wow.
And we had our girl.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They say girls for men can be very healing. Daughters.
It's having a girl for a man is the most healing thing that can happen for a man, because us men sexualize women. We have been taught to only value them for their body.
Right.
And so the energy of that carries in us with all women. And the truth is that when we dishonor women, we dishonor our mother.
Damn.
When we dishonor our ex-partners, we dishonor our mother, because all of the feminine is one, but it gets worse. Because when we dishonor as a man, a woman, we are actually dishonoring the feminine within us, our heart. So whatever we do to a woman, we're actually doing to ourselves.
Dang.
When we mistreat a woman, we are telling the universe, mistreat me. And so for all of these men who think that they're protecting themselves by not honoring the relationship, not financially supporting and taking care of their women, their exes, and their children, they are actually sending a message to the universe that says, block me from all of the abundance that is actually available to me.
We need to get you to debate a red pill person then. I don't even think they're aware of that.
What is a red pill person?
Red pill movement. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's basically the opposing movement towards feminism. So it's putting men in just a power position over a woman.
Well, all of that is fear. Number one, I don't believe in debating because debating causes more separation. I believe in healing so that there wouldn't be a need to debate. Whenever someone is doing, men are more powerful than women, it's combating feminism. Let's talk about this. Feminism was started from pain. The pain of women for hundreds of thousands of years being killed, murdered, burned at the stakes, all by women. And so what happened was in the 60s when the feminine movement started, the women said, I know what we're going to do. By the way, not consciously, energetically, right? They said, we are going to leave our hearts because our hearts are obviously not safe. We are going to go into our mind. And when that happened, they disregarded the heart. They disregarded the feminine within them. This is why when you see someone who's a feminist, do they look happy?
No.
They're angry. But why are they angry? Because their heart is broken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then what happened? Men before that did the same. Thousands of years ago, men and women used to live in harmony with each other. Men used to honor and revere women. But when men wanted that power, they left the feminine. And the only way that a man can mistreat a woman is if he's disconnected from his heart. Because when you're connected to your heart, how are you going to mistreat anybody? So when we have all of these discussions and debates about it's men's problem, it's women's problem, you're just adding to the problem. What we all have to do is really heal. Right. And when we heal, then we can experience love. And all of this goes away.
And it's important to have feminism even as a guy, or feminist energy as a guy, right? Like the feminine energy, my bad.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Yeah, feminine. Well, it's not important to have feminine energy as a man. It is essential to the balancement and the fulfillment of your life's purpose. Because no man or woman is only masculine or feminine. We are all both because we were born from a mother and a father. This is why it is impossible that God is a man. The reason why we think that God is a man is because we live in fear and separation. So since we think that you are you and I am me, we are separate from each other, right? Well, if we're separate from each other, then guess what happens? We can be separate from God. And in the constructs of the 3D world, you have your name, I have my name, right? You have your family, I am my family, right? The truth is, when you go into the spiritual world, we're one. You're me and I am you, yeah? Well, when we live in this construct, everything is, name, race, religion, sex. So we give God a name and a sex as well. God cannot be one or the other. God is the zero. God is the center point. God is not masculine, or God is everything and nothing all at once.
I love that, because a lot of modern day religion, they paint God, no matter what religion it is, as a male figure.
They have to. Religion is dependent upon you being disconnected from your heart. Religion is dependent upon you living in your mind, because the only where that a human being can live and be controlled is in the mind.
Wow.
When a human being gets reconnected to their heart, they're not going to buy any of what religion is teaching, because they know the truth. They're connected to the truth. And so that's why religion has to tell you that God is a man. Why? So you disconnect from your feminine. Your feminine is your heart. Your heart is the connection to the divine. That's why Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of God within.
Dang, that's crazy, because there's billions of people in religion right now.
Yeah, but there's billions of people in separation. That's why. You cannot be a believer of religion when you come back into the fullness of your highest self. It's the same thing with the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Remember the grocery store? There's two options, right? Based off of the energy you live in, you were going to go to the grocery store, attract the partner. Well, it's the same thing with spirituality. Religion is like, I'm going to say, it's like believing in Santa Claus. It really is. It's like, it serves you for a time. It serves you while you were a little kid. And then one day you realize, holy shit, like everything that I thought was true is untrue.
Right.
And that's when your life changes, when you can literally empty yourself of everything that you've been told about life. Only then, when you let that part of you die, can the real part of you be born. And that's where most people are afraid, because it means letting go of everything.
Is that something you realized on your plant medicine journey?
I did it myself 1,000 times.
Wow.
It all started when I was in my first marriage. I knew I wasn't in love. I wasn't in love from the wedding day. I knew I wasn't in love.
You knew that early?
I knew, but I didn't know, because I was afraid to know. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had a gut feeling, but you didn't want to act on it.
It's like because my whole life I had been looking for love, because my mom didn't know how to show me love. So I thought in my mind, love equals having a family and being married. It's where actually a lot of people are right now, right? And then you get married, or you get the successful career, or you get the big house. And guess what? You still ain't happy. Yeah. And so anyways, I was going through my divorce. And because I was very religious back then, we went to speak to the pastor. And I literally thought there was like a demon inside of me, right? Because I was like, why am I thinking like this? What is wrong with me? Because I started to see my ex-wife and I was like, I love you so much that I actually have to let you go, because I can't love you the way you deserve to be loved. And the preacher, he's looking at the Bible, he's flipping through, and he's like, well, you can't get a divorce because of this. And I was like, okay, yeah. When you can't get a divorce, he was trying everything. And everything he said, I kept telling the preacher, but pastor, like, what about my heart? Like, what about what I feel inside here, And then he closed the books and he looks me in the eye and he says, Danny, your big business, all the favor that God has blessed you with, how big you are in the community, all the money you have, all of that? I said, yeah. He says, if you make this decision to get a divorce, you will lose all of it, because you'll lose all of God's blessings on your life.
Whoa.
That's what he said. And that was the moment. That was the moment that I had to feel and trust versus think. Because thinking, I would have said, shit, I don't want that. But in here, I remember looking at him and feeling inside of myself this essence of, I don't know what love is. I really don't. But I know it ain't that. That feels like guilt and manipulation. And because of that, I don't care if I lose everything. I don't care if I live in a cardboard box. I don't care anything. I need to go find the truth for myself. That was my moment of letting go of everything and going all in here.
Dang.
Yeah.
And did that actually happen? Did you lose the business?
I ended up selling it.
So in a way you did, I guess.
And I ended up selling it, and I ended up attracting a buyer that gypped me, and we're now in a lawsuit.
Damn.
Yeah. And I ended up, honoring my ex-wife. She's well taken care of. Even though the business gypped me, I still pay her half. I did everything, right? Because I understand that all of life is energy, and all of life really is honor, and I think that's why I'm at where I'm at right now.
What a journey.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of healing methods. You probably experimented with tons of them. For you, what worked the best?
For me, it was ayahuasca.
Really? So just going all in.
It's the cool thing about being an A-type like us, the cool thing about being a go-getter and like being focused and determined is once you realize there's some shit you got to deal with, like you go all in on don't get me wrong, you're going to be afraid, you're going to be scared, but it's like, it's the only way you know to be. So I went all in. I went for 7 days, did 3 ceremonies, took 30 days off, went back the next month, took 30 days off, went back the next month, took 30 days back. I've like 14, 15 times.
Holy crap.
And then I did the same thing with mushrooms. And now it's with cannabis.
Cannabis. And now ketamine's an up and coming one too.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to use only natural, like whatever's from the earth.
Yeah.
So
you're microdosing cannabis, or are you doing full doses?
No. Yeah, I'm glad this is coming up. We judge cannabis as a society. Yeah. Right? There's like the stigma around it. Cannabis can be as powerful as mushrooms or ayahuasca if you use it the right way. And I'll teach you how to use it. So you can do this from your home, right? Because all the medicine does is the medicine meets you at your intention. So think about it, like when you were a kid in high school and your intention was to like get fucked up and like have a good time. Okay, here you go, right? So what you do is you set an intention like, I want to remove the blockages around money, or I want to find out where these blockages came around my relationships or whatever issue you're having in life. And so you speak it. You speak it to the medicine. You hold it to your third eye and you say, I am ready to heal this part of my life. Please show me anything that I need to do or remove and help me to see where it all came from. Cover your eyes, put on some beautiful love frequency music, lay down and watch what happens.
Really?
Watch.
I'm going to try it. Right now, it gives me anxiety when I get high.
Yeah.
But I'll try that and I'll get back
with
to you.
intention. With intention. Yeah. The key is intention. As long as you have a specific intention, right? Like I'm sure this conversation is bringing up some stuff in you. Mm-hmm. So something will come up. Take your time. Don't rush this. I'll help you however I can. But when you do that, it's incredibly healing because the medicine has been meeting you at the anxiety. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's been giving you more of, right? But when it's in sacred ceremony, it's going to honor that.
That's good to know. Yeah. That's really good to know. Yeah, it has a very negative, I think our parents' generation really demonized cannabis, right?
That's right.
It was illegal back then and, you used to have to hide it. But I think now it's becoming more recreational.
Yeah, and again, like if you use the medicine for what is intended for healing, it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
You mentioned earlier you got over the fear of death. Was that through ayahuasca?
That was through, for me, what happened after ayahuasca. I essentially, true story, I was doing this diet where I was fasting for 23 hours a day.
Dang.
I would only eat between 1 hour and it was fully vegan. So I dropped like so much weight. But part of that was I couldn't sleep because I was up here. Remember, we are energy. So like meat, for example, it grounds you. Yeah? Well, I had nothing. So I was like, I wasn't on planet Earth, bro. I was up there. You know what I'm saying? And so I was afraid to go to sleep because I thought I was going to die. Right? And what I realized in all of that was the reason why I even went to that diet. It was supposedly for longevity. It was because I was afraid to die. Make sense?
Wow.
And so all of the fear came up. And in 1 year, I think I slept 4 nights in 1 year. Yeah, man.
Holy crap.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And the mind wants to stay in the anxiety. By the way, anxiety is not yours. We don't have anxiety. Anxiety is learned, right? And so to unlearn it, all you have to do is get really comfortable at being with yourself. You know, taking breaths, doing breath work, meditating, sitting out, connecting with Mother Nature. And then the thoughts will come and you go, I am a safe place. I am a safe place. It's just the way you've learned to live.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I agree.
It can all be healed.
I got prescribed that in college and I believed it and I was on all sorts of meds. But these days, I haven't had an attack in years.
Beautiful.
I do breath work and I do a lot of self-development.
Yeah.
I definitely believe it's in your head.
Yeah.
And I saw you had a recent video on there's no such thing as narcissists.
Yeah.
So that's even a step further, right?
Well, there is no such thing as narcissist because a narcissist is simply someone who is operating in the frequency of fear and deep, deep pain that they received from their mother and father. And so when we get hurt by a narcissistic relationship, what we're actually doing is we're being a victim to the relationship. When you want to heal and change your life, you don't label anyone anything because what you're doing is trying to protect yourself and put the blame on them. Real courage requires you to say, I attracted this. I created this. And since I attracted and I created this, I'm going to go into it to discover why my soul attracted it so I can actually clean it up and heal it. That is ownership. That is you not being a victim, but the creator of your life. But that takes courage. And it's what most people haven't learned, that they literally have the power to transmute and heal anything. And so the more that you call that person a narcissist, the more that you distance yourself from the pain. The less that you heal, the more that you stay stuck, the more likely you are to attract another narcissistic relationship. You want to heal? Forgive them. But why? But you don't know what they did to me. I know. Forgive them. Love them. Send them love. Remove the energy of that label and understand that that is a hurt little boy or hurt little girl. And the only way that they could have shown up in your life is to be called in and attracted by the hurt little boy or hurt little girl inside of you.
That's deep. Yeah, forgiveness is super important. You see a lot of people hold resentment for years, sometimes decades, and it eats at their health, right?
It's the issue we all have. We're all holding on to and judging our past.
Yeah.
You know, if you can finally understand that even your mother and father and the relationship you had with them was literally perfectly orchestrated by your soul. What I'm saying is you picked your mother and father. And some people are like, nope, that's it, too much. I can't handle that. Let me show you. You picked your mother and father to bring you into this life to show you and teach you exactly what you needed to learn for your soul's advancement. Here's the issue. You keep judging it. You keep holding on to the resentment. You keep holding on to the anger. Therefore, the lesson and the gift in it all can never make itself available to you. And that is why you cannot heal and you cannot transform your life. Because the truth is you are literally one with God. That means that you are one with the Creator. That means you have the ability to create whatever you want in this lifetime. The only thing that's stopping you from it is the judgment, the hurt, and the resentment that you have towards what happened in your past with your mom and dad.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's deep. I do believe that as well. And these days with social media, comparing and judging is something kids are doing every single day.
Well, yeah. See, what's happening with social media is most people who are also in pain are using social media to essentially just get attention. And so they're willing to say anything and use anything because there's a part of them inside that requires your attention. And since you don't understand that, you don't see it. You look at it and go, yeah, they're right. But when you start to feel, you'll start to realize that most of us that are social media influencers are actually people that are deeply wounded.
Wow.
Because when you are in your highest self and you return to your heart, you don't need anything outside of you. You don't need attention. You don't need a power. You don't need followers. You don't need anything. And that's where you can actually help change the world. When you heal that part of you that needed, right? And that's when your message becomes about love and helping other people, people naturally start gravitating towards that. And the only way I can speak to this is because that was me. I was that guy that used to pose in front of the cars and like have the photographer, and I bought fake followers. And I used to buy fake viewers. And when I let go of all of that, man, and I just started like genuinely, because this is my life's purpose, genuinely wanting to help people in the way that I know how to help people, everything became effortless and it just started to grow.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, a lot of people measure their social media identity with views and followers.
That's right.
It becomes a dangerous game because then you're trying to post crazy videos and stuff you don't believe in, right?
Yeah.
It's not authentic.
Well, and I think another thing that's happening right now with social media is men. Like men are acting without honor. Because men are literally using other men's videos and their content, and they're actually like talking shit about other men. And that is like unhonorable behavior.
Yeah.
Because when you live in like, you know, if you live in any society other than 20 years ago till now, men wouldn't do that. Men, if a man has an issue with you, a man walks up to your face and tells you that they have the issue. Because then guess what? You could be ready for whatever comes up with that. Nowadays, we're hiding behind our phones and we're using other men's names and we're talking shit about them. And to me, that's like the epitome of like bitch assiness.
Yeah.
I would never, you could ask me right now, what do you think about so-and-so? That's not for me to say. They're not here. It's a dishonorable way to live.
That was the worst habit I had from public school. Shit talking.
Really?
Behind people's backs.
Yeah.
That was a terrible habit. Now, when I see it, I just leave the room or I just say I have no opinion.
It became your teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you see what I said? When we look back and allow everything to be our teacher, it actually is the thing that helps us become our highest self, right? That's what you did.
Yeah. Well, there was no upside to it, to doing that. There's no growth. You don't get better as a person.
You don't.
If anything, it makes it worse.
It doesn't. Eventually, it all falls apart.
Yeah.
Because it's going to teach you a lesson eventually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of you. I think this was you. You said you've never like personally invited a guest on your podcast or reached out to someone.
I think maybe I invited one.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, so do they just come to you? Like, how does that work?
Just let it flow, bro.
And do you feel like that holds the business side back though?
No, because it's interesting. You know, for me, my journey with the podcast, when I really went into it, like I was trying to do what everybody else does. And so for me, what happened was I realized I'm not a podcaster, right? Like where I do my life's purpose is in helping people to heal. Yeah. And so what happened was about a month and a half ago, I actually decided to stop the podcast. And it's the craziest thing. I decided to stop the podcast. To me, my business is not my podcast. It's my events and our healing and stuff like that. When I actually decided to drop the podcast, it's like the best, most aligned conversations started to show up.
Huh.
I was trying to let go of the podcast, but the podcast doesn't let go of me. And like, to me, I don't think of the podcast in any way, shape, or form from a monetary perspective, because it's just not where I'm best suited. I'm best suited on stage in front of a couple thousand people, helping them have a spiritual experience. That's what I want to do with my life.
I love that. Yeah. Something special about in-person events. That's why I host them.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to, my first few events, I lost a ton of money, but I saw the bigger picture with events because you can really have impact in a room of 1,000 people.
That's right. That's right. And I'll tell you something else. Like, I realized that like there was a need inside of me to be seen, which is why I wanted to be in front of an audience. And I had to heal any of that energy before I could actually become the version of myself today. And so what I'm doing is like, I went all in-person events, and now I'm going to go virtual. And I've got a book coming out And there will be a day when I don't have to spend money on Facebook ads or anything like that. When the email list is big enough or whatever, and I can put on an event and it just happens naturally. That's when I'll go back to live events.
Yeah. I mean, look at Tony Robbins. He's doing a lot of virtual these days.
Yeah, he is.
500,000 people on some of them.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
I know, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that dude's the go to that stuff. Do you have any events this year or anywhere people can reach out to you?
I've got two main ones. I've got a one-day online event called Heal Your Hidden Wounds. And this is where we take you deep into the unconscious things that you are carrying from your mom and dad that are blocking you from the money, relationships, and health that you want. And to access that one, you go to dannymorell.com/heal. And then I've got my 3-day event, which these are literally the final live ones that we're doing for a while. And I've got one in London coming up, one in Austin, and one in Anaheim. And for that one, you go to dannymorell.com/awaken.
Nice. We'll link it below. Anything else you want to close off with, Danny? That was awesome. Learned a lot.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Dude, just happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on. Check them out, guys. Check out the events. We'll see you next time.